So far we've looked at animal and plant and fungi cells, and we've basically said that all animal cells look pretty similar. But actually, this is not true at all. So the main idea for this video is that cells are specialized. So when we talk about cell specialization, what we're really saying is that different cells in an organism look different and they have different jobs to do. So different cells in an organism look different and have different jobs. So just like in society, where we need lots of different types of people to do different jobs, because that helps the country to run properly, we need variety. It's the same for cells in a body of an animal or any other living thing. So let's look at some different types of cells in animals firstly, to get an idea of what different specialized cells can look like. So here we've got the first one. Here are some muscle cells. And we can see muscle cells are long and cylinder shaped, and they're all bundled together to make a muscle fiber. And that's what makes animals be able to move their joints with muscles. And thinking about organelles, muscle cells need lots of energy. So if we looked inside each muscle cell, there'll be lots of mitochondria. Remember that mitochondria are what converts our food molecules into energy for the cells to use. And they're rod-shaped, like we could see before. Next, we've got a bone cell in this microscope picture. And we can see the shape of the bone cell. It's actually quite hollow, but it releases all this really hard tissue around the outside of the cell, which is full of calcium, and that makes a bone. So it releases calcium minerals, and that is basically the job of a bone cell. This next picture here is showing some skin cells, and the job of skin cells is to be thin and to join really tightly with the next cells. Join tightly to the neighbours, because we need our skin to be a sealed barrier from the outside world. The next cells we can see here are red blood cells, and obviously they make up most of our blood, but actually red blood cells don't have a nucleus. Once they mature, the nucleus dies, and they're left with just one job, and that's to carry oxygen, O2, and carbon dioxide, CO2. But that's a really important job for animals. We need oxygen to be transported to all our cells. Another important cell for animals is a nerve cell. So we can see here it has long, thin strands, and that's because each strand connects to other nerve cells. And that's how our cells can communicate along nerves, and it's how our brain can have complicated thoughts and memories. So we can see that we've learnt about the basic structure of a cell, like the basic animal cell that we looked at earlier, but really not many animal cells look like this. They'll all have their own particular job, and they'll all look a little bit different because of the job they need to do. And it's the same with plants as well. So here are a couple of pictures of some plant cells. This is a cross-section of a root under a microscope, and this is a drawing of a leaf cross-section where we've cut through the leaf. So we can see plants also have particular cells that make up the outside layer of the leaf, and these are called epidermal cells. These cells produce wax on the outside of the leaf, which protects the leaf, and it stops water escaping as well. And then inside the leaf, we have these darker green cells. These are called mesophyll cells, and they are what does most of the photosynthesis in the leaf. They have lots of chloroplasts, which helps them to collect a lot of sunlight and then produce lots of food for the plant. And then we can also see these bundles of cells running through the leaf, and these are like the veins for animals. These are called Xylem and Phloem cells. And the job of these cells is they're hollow and they're like pipes, and they transport water and food all through the plant, just like the veins in animals. So we can see roots, they also have xylem and phloem cells. That's these hollow circles. And they have mesophyll cells too. And they also have epidermal cells around the outside. So even though we learn the basic cell and the organelles, cells actually specialize to do a particular job.